Hey, what's up YouTube? Off-Road Garage here. And in today's video, we're gonna go over on what broke on my Jeep. Let me get around this ramp. So, I was driving down the road. This is a little backstory on what happened. We were gonna go get a Christmas tree. Hence the roof rack on there is why that's on there. So I was gonna put the tree on top, and we just did a run the day before. I think it was Friday we did a run, and that's where all the mud came from, and that was fun. Slipping and sliding around on ice with these tires. If you guys know about the KM2s, they kind of suck in mud, or not mud, snow. And I drove home after doing that trip. Everything went good. Jeep had a little bit of a stumble of just not like it was gutting out, but it seemed to be fine. I think I got the distributor wet or something, but I don't know, because I wasn't like splashing through mud. But anyway, after that trip, we started heading back home. Aired up the tires. I picked up a transmission over there, because it was that tranny. You guys probably can't see very well. Picked up that tranny because it was literally right on the way home. Friend was giving it to me, so for the Cherokee build that I've got going on. More on that later. And anyway, driving home, the Jeep, when I would accelerate, started vibrating real bad, and so I thought it was the weight in the back maybe, or the mud got in the tires and was shaking the front end. And so I just said, screw it, we'll just drive it home. We get home, I had to go run out for more gas for the next day, which was Saturday. And we go run out for gas, get my uncle's parts for his Jeep, because his Jeep kept on dying on the Friday trip. And then we got home, and it was all vibrating still, going to town and back for gas and stuff. And I thought it was the people in the back seat weighing down the rear end, and so the front tires were picking up a little bit and, you know, barely grabbing the ground, so it was just slipping or something. And so I didn't think much of it. So then the next day we get ready to go. We go down the road. It's vibrating still every time I was accelerating, not like but when I let off it would be fine. So it was real weird. And I had the roof rack and two people in the back, or one person in the back, one in the passenger seat. And then I was just said, screw it, we'll just worry about the vibration later. I think it's just the weight and the front tires aren't grabbing, or death wobble or something. I didn't think much of it. And then we go down the road, and we start in right before we enter Natchez. On the way to it, like halfway there, I was accelerating out of a turn and trying to catch up with my dad and or buddy, because I'm the only one running a 4-cylinder with oversized tires. So, but sorry about the wind noise. And so I was accelerating and shifting through gears like I normally do, and then the vibration was getting real bad, and then all of a sudden we hear the drive shaft just come loose from the rear axle and smack around, hitting everything. And then I pull off the side of the road, and I have to call them to come back because my CP wasn't long enough. But I'll show you what happened. I don't know if you can see that. Oh yeah, you can. So the drive shaft came off the rear axle. You can see one cap still in the axle. Came off, smacked the muffler, my new Flowmaster, oil everywhere. Then wiggled around in there for several seconds, and I could hear it just smacking everything. I lost all gears because it was in two-wheel drive. And then all of a sudden we hear it not smacking no more, and I pull off the side of the road because I can't move no more. And as you can see, the transfer case is snapped. Well, we pull off the side of the road and had to walk maybe 100, 200 feet back to grab this part, which is a bolt-on part, and I think I might be able to fix it. Not this piece, but I have another piece. And grab the drive shaft off the road along with that other piece, which I think I might have a couple dents in this drive shaft. Oh, and it even snapped the Zerk fitting right off. As you can see, it bent right there, smacked around. Might even have a couple dents in it, and it is covered in tranny fluid because when that thing let go, it let go. This U-joint's still decent. You can see it's all scarred up from smacking everything. So that U-joint's gone. This piece is just demolished, not usable anymore. And of course you can't weld that because it's aluminum or cast iron, whatever it is. So we decided, after I finally got a hold of them, because my dad didn't see me like split off, and he made it all the way to Natchez, and then I had my friend riding with me that had a phone, because my phone doesn't make calls, so I had him call my house, and then my mom and my aunt called my dad, which was already on the way back because he noticed something was wrong. But yeah, we could hear them on the CB asking if I'm back there, and I was responding, but I could not put out far enough because my antenna is too short, which we need to fix. So for cases like that, that's honestly why CBs are good, because if you have an issue, you can call your buddy on the CB and say, hey, I'm broken down, stop. But in my case, my antenna was way too short, so it wasn't pushing out enough. I even screwed the squelch and everything, and it just wouldn't. So after he comes back, I have to get my Jeep turned around, and so we decided to just put it in four-wheel drive, pulled off the road, turn around, and face the back of his JK. He thought about towing it, but I was like, well, I'll just drive it in four-wheel drive. The transfer case is already screwed. I'll just drive it home. Makes a lot more sense than trying to hook up a strap, and it wasn't that far, probably half a mile from our house or some crap, if that. So I just put it in 4-high and drove it all the way home. Got my dad's windshield on his JK, got tranny fluid on it because it was spewing out the rear half of the transfer case, which you can see on the spare tire. All the tranny fluid just coming up and down over, wind pulling it all on the hard top. So that was pretty eventful. But we did make it home in four-wheel drive, and all the vibration was gone. So we picked up our parts, drove it home in four-wheel drive, and piled in the other rigs and went and got the Christmas tree with the JK and the buddy's TJ. And then we met the two other guys up there by Ace. So it was all in all a fun trip, other than my Jeep destroying itself right before going up there. Cherokee transfer case. This one we pulled a while ago. Friend was pouring down a Cherokee, and we're like, hey, we should grab that transfer case for that Jeep. I made a video probably about a year or two ago, that gray ZJ that wouldn't go in gear. We grabbed this 231 for it because it didn't have a transfer case, and then my brother gave us one for, it was a 249 or whatever those all-wheel drive ones were. But we sold that one, but we kept the transfer case because the input shaft was wrong for that Grand Cherokee anyway, so. And we didn't have no one to help us, so. I have this for spare parts, or not spare parts, for a spare transfer case, just in case I need it. You guys might just say, well, why don't you just replace this? Just take this piece off, because it just bolts on, and that's what snapped off. And just put it on my Jeep, because before that drive shaft, the U-joint or strap or whatever let go on that and broke that, the bottom half of the case was leaking. So I'm going to pull it in here after cleaning up this mess. Pull it in here and pull my transfer case out and see if it is cracked the rear half of the case or not, and just go over it. If it seems to be fine, then I have this guy over here for my spare transfer case that's pulled apart in my barn, which would bolt straight on and replace that piece, and that way I don't have to yank apart that 231. But if I was to use this 231, I'm pretty sure this input shaft has to be changed anyway, like it would have if we put it in that ZJ. Which doesn't matter, if my transfer case is screwed, then we'll pull it apart and put this transfer case in it and put the planetary gears, switch them over. But I'll test with this one to see if it works before I switch it over and realize that that's the same spline and everything. Because if it is, then I'll just put this one in, call it a day, and be done. And keep that other transfer case if I ever want to do a slip yoke eliminator or something. Because that would be the actual solve, is, since this rear half broke, just this bolt-on piece. Should put a slip yoke eliminator in it, but I gotta sell that truck, that Ford that you guys seen will start video. Selling that so I can fix this Jeep and get that new Cherokee project for more videos for the channel. So but yeah, so I just thought I would run you guys over about what happened, tell you guys what happened. But I have a few more projects coming to the channel. I'll record fixing this one, the transfer case, as much as I can. Let me know how you like the footage, because this is on my camera, my actual GoPro, so I'm hoping the footage is good and sounds good. And but we'll make a video on fixing this, and we'll make a video on what's going on with all these Cherokee parts and the Cherokee way down here and right there. We'll make a video on all that and let you guys know what's going on with all that crap. So thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you next time on Off-Road Garage.